Hello students, this is Professor Kraus and I will be leading our class for the fall first session 2024, Introduction to Missions. This introduction and syllabus video is going to cover all of the material for both the in-person and the online courses. And so there might be times where I highlight a specific thing that only applies to online or only applies to in-person. But overall, the syllabus and the assignments are going to be the same for all of the students. Let me tell you a little bit about myself, and if I've not had the chance to meet you before, I have been teaching. This is my 5th year at Carolina U, and I want to say the 3rd or 4th year that I've had the privilege of teaching Introduction to Missions. And I'm excited to hopefully get a chance to meet a lot of you, whether that be in person or, shooting me an email or something else. But I am 42 years old. I've been married for 19 years to Mandy, and I've got 4 kids ranging from 16 all the way down to 10. And so I love to read. I love to read about missionaries and mission work. Like to read a lot of other things too. I love to run. Like watching my kids play sports and participating in sports myself. I'm also a pastor. Pastor is my main job at a place called Germantown Baptist. So if you were to leave the campus and go north about 20 minutes, you'd run into Germantown, a little small town. And I live in King, which is also a small little town. But that being said, I got my PhD in both in preaching, but my main topic, my thesis paper, was on the intersection of missions and preaching. And so I spent a lot of my research, a lot of my reading in the world of missions. And so that's why one of the reasons I love to teach this course. So let's jump right in. First things first, if you need to, this video is going to primarily cover all of the syllabus in really good detail. But if you ever lose track and you need to look at your syllabus, for example, before you shoot me an email asking me a question, it would be good to look over your syllabus. You can click on the syllabus tab over here on the left-hand side and go to official syllabus, and you're going to find the syllabus that I am actually referencing here in the video. Should be the exact same one. My office hours are going to be online because I'm just an adjunct, but I am more than happy to even meet you in person if that works better and we can make it work. If not, we can set up a Google Meet anytime you want to discuss something, whether it's class-related, mission-related, or just in life. I want you to know as students that I'm here for you, not just for this 7-week period in this course, but even after. If I can do anything, let me know. I've given you my phone number for emergencies. If you need to contact me, you are going to reach me much quicker by my email because I do not answer phone numbers that I do not know. But if you shoot me an email, I'm obviously going to know it's probably going to be from a student based on the name that pops up. So that's the easiest way to reach me. But if there is an emergency in life or in the class, or maybe you reached out to me 3 or 4 times, and for some reason I never emailed you back, which is unheard of. But I do have like 100 students this semester, so a lot of students. But yeah, that's my information. For those of you who are going to be in-person students, meaning for attendance purposes, you are going to be showing up. You're required to be in class. We're going to be meeting in the Deeds building, lower level 104, and the class time is going to be Wednesday. It says 12 to 1:15. It's going to be much closer to 12 to 1. And some courses will run all the way up into that hour. Other courses will be a little bit shorter. They're going to depend on the type of interaction we're able to have and depending on the subject that we're looking at. We are going to, we are going to use a book called Missiology, an Introduction to the Foundations, History, and Strategies of World Missions by John Mark Terry, who is the editor. The reason why I keep coming back to this book, it is a thick book. I thought I had it out, but I don't. The reason why I keep coming back to this book and using it is because it incorporates the thoughts of lots of different authors. So some chapters are going to be better than the others, but it covers such a wide range of topics that a lot of other books don't cover. So we're going to find chapters on urban missions. We're going to find chapters on the different cultures that you might encounter. So that's why it is a book that I keep on using, and we're going to be using for this course. You're going to be reading a huge chunk of it. Missionary biography is also going to be a required text of at least 150 pages. Now, we're going to talk about this more in class, but even for those of you who are online, you're going to hear this, but make sure you get this right. It needs to be an actual biography of a missionary, not a church leader. So, for example, if you were to do Martin Luther is a tremendous church figure, but he wasn't primarily a missionary, so that book would not work. You could literally Google missionary biographies, and it's going to give you a list of, hundreds. You can also find a lot if you're an in-person student. Just go to our school library. They have lots of missionary biographies that you can use. It needs to be at least 150 pages or very, very close to that, just so you have enough material for the assignment you're going to be reading it for. Of course, you're also going to need a Bible. Don't really care which translation you're going to use. We're going to, while you're going to see the schedule in a second, there's not a lot of scheduled reading in the Bible. We, in our lectures, are going to constantly be referencing the Bible. We're going to walk through Genesis to Revelation and where we find mission in the Bible. So the Bible is going to be a huge part of that too. Here are the measurable course learning outcomes. If that sort of stuff interests you, it kind of keeps us honest about what we are going to be covering. And we will cover all 5 of these main learning outcomes. But let's get to probably what you are very most interested in, and that's your course requirements and assignments. First, before we get to these course requirements and specifically the assignments, let's talk about course requirements when it comes to attendance. For those of you who are in-person students, you are going to be coming to class on Wednesday, and there will be a sign-up sheet, an attendance sheet that you are going to fill out. And as long as you stay for the course, you are counted present. We've been given some different leeway for those of you who are online. And I'm not sure what all the different professors are doing, but at least our department has been encouraged to have something that's kind of substantial, where you're not only able to show that you've watched the lectures rather than just saying, yes, I watched lectures, but also have the chance to interact with other students, since you're not going to get to do that like the in-person students. And so, just so I can show you, okay, this right here is the 50 code here means that is in person. So let me go here to 10160, which will be Introduction to Missions. You can see all the courses I'm teaching, a lot of them. Now, for those of you who are going to be online students, you are going to find on the left-hand side discussions. You're also going to find it, for example, right here in your coursework. Now, it says coursework, but you're not graded on it. There are no grades, but if you click on this week 1 attendance, it's going to take you to the week 1 attendance topic. So visit the week 1 attendance topic. And you are going to be, let me go at it a different way. You can also click over here on the discussions and go down here to week 1 through 7 attendance. So you are going to watch all of the lectures in their entirety over the weekend, early week, whatever that might be. And then by Friday, which I believe it says over here, by Friday, online students, you're going to watch all the lectures, and then you're going to write a post. You're going to click on week 1 attendance and start a post. giving 500 to 600 words, summarizing and interacting with the main ideas of the week's lectures by Friday night at 11:30. Then, on Saturday or Sunday, but by Sunday night at 11:30, you are going to log back in, you're going to look at other people's posts, and you are going to interact with one other student's post. That means not summarize, not just say, hey, great job, but you're actually going to interact with it. Further elaboration, agreement, disagreement, 50 to 100 words, so very, very little, right? But what I mean by summarizing, interacting, so for example, Lecture 2, this is technically Lecture 1 or how it'll be labeled. Lecture 2 is on, what is missions. So you would watch the lecture. These lectures are going to be 15, 20, 25 minutes at the max. And then you are going to summarize the main ideas. So hopefully you're taking notes because you're going to need to know it for the final exam. But you are going to then summarize and interact with the main ideas. Now, you only have 500 to 600 words that you have to write. You're going to be interacting with 3 to 4 different lectures, so you don't have to spend a great amount of time. You don't need to write a whole paper on it, but you need to be able to show me that you actually watch the lectures. If all you do is post, lecture 2 is about what is missions, and you talk about missions. Lesson 3 is about the theology of missions, and you talk about the theology. I'm going to question whether or not you truly watch the lectures, and therefore I cannot give you the attendance grade. And if you don't attend the class, then you get points taken off, or you even fail ultimately. So that's one main assignment. One main assignment is you are going to be doing the for those of you who are in person, attending class, those of you who are online, watching lectures, doing the discussion forum. Now, back to our 5 main assignments. First, reading. I'm just going to do this unless I begin to feel like students are not reading at all based on your online post and in-person students. At the very beginning of course, and hopefully throughout the course, I'm simply going to quiz all of you on whether or not you read the material, meaning you'll have one question in your quiz. I completed all of this week's required reading, yes or no. Now, this is a Christian university. This is a course on missions, and I'm hoping and praying that you are students of integrity and that you are not going to lie about that. So if you ever need more time, you have until Sunday night. But if you can't get to some reading because you have a busy week or other classes and you need more time, I would rather you reach out to me and be like, hey, Professor Krause, can I have an extra day? Rather than just lying about that. So don't start that snowball of lying. You're going to have to do the reading. You'll be able to see that required course list in just a little bit from that missiology book. But those are due every Sunday night, and that's not going to start until week 2. Because I understand some of you might not be able to get your book for week 1. I'll be covering a lot of the book in my lectures, understanding that. But as you can see here, even on the screen, week 2 reading quiz, you click on that, you take it, and that's part of your grade, 20% of your grade. So 1/5 of your grade, you can get 100 just by reading all your stuff. 2, you're going to write a research paper. Now, the good thing about this research paper is we're going to practically cover 90% of what you need to know in the course, in our lectures and in your reading, because this paper is going to be on a missional theme. It can be on any missional theme that you are that you gravitate towards as we cover these themes and we walk through all of Scripture. Again, we're going to walk through and kind of look at the high points between Genesis and Revelation of God's mission and the church's mission. So students, you are going to choose one of the themes listed below, as you can see here. If you have another theme that you would rather write on, then please reach out to me first or whatever to make sure it'll be a big enough theme to write on. You're going to write a 5-page double-spaced paper. So 5 pages double-spaced is not very long. But you are going to, and I'll have to give you some further directions because I'm not sure why it's not in this syllabus right now. But I'm so sorry. It is. Notice right here, here's what you're going to do. First, it says 5 main sections. You really only need to do 4 main sections. First, you're going to introduce your theme. So if you're writing on evangelism, you would introduce it and say evangelism is an important theme that we find throughout the Bible, where God's people they are called to tell others about God, about Jesus. Number 2, you're going to go in and you're going to begin explaining exactly what your theme is. So you would explain perseverance. You would explain the idea of sending in the New Testament, the idea of discipleship. And this is where the research side comes in. This is where you are going to be required to look up commentaries. You're going to be required to look up other books on missions that we might be alluding to. You can even use your textbook as one of them. But this is a paper where you are, as I say right here in this line, students must have no less than 4 sources. So you need to have 4 different books, 4 different journal articles, and at least 8 different citations. And what this means is you're not just giving your opinion, but you are relying on the research of others to make your point in your paper. So you're introducing your topic, you're explaining what your theme exactly is. Number 3, you're actually pointing out in Scripture where you find this theme and why it's important there. And then 4, you're going to conclude your paper. So again, not a very hard paper. A paper we're going to cover these themes in our lectures on the Bible. And then I will talk more as we get on into the course, or write more to you about what's expected in this paper. Number 3, a little bit more writing. Missionary biography paper. This is one of my favorite assignments to read, because you are going to read your paper and then you are going to write a 4-page double space, 2 pages, about a missionary and their ministry. And you are, both of these papers, notice Sunday, October 6th. So you've got like 6 weeks. You got plenty of time to do these papers. If you wait at the last second, it's not going to be fun. But in your missionary biography, you're going to explain the missionary's background, elaborate on the trials, discouragements, sufferings, and setbacks they faced on the field or getting to the field, describe specifics of the mission field that they served, and then offer 3 lessons that you learned specifically about the life of your missionary. So this is a very practical paper. This is a paper that's going to be, written differently than your research paper. Research paper, you're giving facts, you're bringing in other research. This biography paper, you're going to be interacting and telling a story and interacting with that story. 4, another pretty easy but practical assignment. You're going to sit down with the pastor or the mission director of the church that you currently serve, or you currently attend, and you are going to discuss their church's strategy for local, short-term, and overseas missions. The goal of this examination is to discover the current and future plans of the church for teaching on missions, raising up missionaries, a lot of the topics we're going to be talking about. So we're going to be, this assignment is going to keep coming up in class, because I'm going to be like, this would be a good question. So you're going to be coming up with questions to ask a pastor or a mission director, someone who heads up the missions, and then you're just going to be getting their honest opinion. And then you are going to overview what they said, and you're going to critique. Some critique might mean they got it right, this is great, or they're falling short here. 1 to 2 page single spaced. I don't care whether 1 or 2 pages, I'm not going to count off one or the other, but if you ask really good questions and you do a good job, that's how you'll get your best grade. And then finally, a final exam, which we will talk about a little bit later. Let's see. Do the last days of class. Here's your course schedule. I'm going to be recording lectures throughout the week. So, for example, when you watch this lecture, you'll be getting ready for week 1. Well, those week 1 lectures are going to be posted with links to YouTube. and you're going to find them. I'm clicking on resources now. They're not there. They need to be uploaded. But you're going to go to Resources tab, and you're going to find them right here. Week 1. There might be resources. I misspoke. Right here, bookmarks, bookmarking YouTube. So week 1 is going to have 1, 2, 3, 4 different lectures. Week 2 is going to have 4 more lectures, and on and on and on. You can see here on the left-hand side, these are the lectures that are going to be showing up each, for your week. So this right here is the introduction to the syllabus. Then we're going to do one on what is mission or missiology, theology of missions, the goal and fuel of missions. This is the reading that needs to be completed in order to kind of stay in line with what we are listening to and covering in the lectures. This is what I'm asking if you've read for your reading quiz that opens up, I think, on like Thursday, and you can take Thursday through Sunday. So make sure you read this, watch the lectures. It's broken down into weeks. For those of you who are in-person students, notice I have the topic that we're going to be covering in class. So coming in, you're going to know what we're going to be covering. Week 1, we're talking about what is missions. When we say that word, what does it mean? Week 2, we're going to be talking about how do we read the Bible with like a lens that's focused on missions. So we're going to talk about that. And then on and on and on and on. Week 6, just to go ahead and let you know, week 6, there's going to be no in-person class for that week, because I'm going to be out of the country kind of participating in missions. But you can see there's going to be up to somewhere around 22 different lectures covering everything from history to the Bible to theology, all the way down to current trends in missions. So we have a huge list of topics we're going to be covering. You can read right here the course-specific policies. Let's see here how everything's going to be graded, all the way down to the school's policy on AI is going to be in here. Here is your course attendance participation that we've already talked about, and that's really about it. Got a bibliography at the very end if you're interested in more books on missiology. So, long story short, that's the course. This is pretty much what you can expect. Coursework is going to be found here, whether you're in the 50 section or the 60 section. It's going to be the exact same assignments. There's a check-in quiz that the school wants you to take. It is not graded. Let's see. Reading quizzes. Church mission report. Biography, themes, they're already set up and ready for you to start working on as we cover them more and more. So please, check out this after watching this video. If you have any questions specifically about the course that's not covered in the syllabus, please reach out to me, and look forward to a great 7 weeks of class with you. God bless.